and welcome back to my channel. I really don't like saying that, and I think it's very cringe, but it's the only way that I can actually think of introducing it, because other than that I just don't really know what to say. Today's video is going to be a bit of a long one, so grab yourself a cuppa and some snacks and get comfy, because I'm going to do a question and answer, and I'll try and get through as many of them as I can. And I'm also going to add some information at the end of things I think we should all know and all be aware of that maybe I haven't covered in the questions. So yeah, let's just get straight into it and not drag it out any longer than we need to. So to answer the question, it's actually really simple. Implants, no matter what size, shape or whatever, they don't affect the ability to detect any lumps. It's the same process, and I will pop a picture up just after this question to show you all how to self-examine your breasts to check for any lumps. And I do apologise if I keep looking down, it's because I've wrote everything down on a notepad so that I don't miss anything. But yeah, they're basically, the things that to look out for are exactly the same, and I will pop up all the symptoms at the end of the video. But with implants especially, you need to be looking for swelling or redness of the skin. You also need to check for any lumps or stiffened tissue around your implant. And of course, if you get any sort of itchiness or your nipple changes any shape, whether it goes slightly inwards or anything that you notice that isn't normally there, then I would definitely just say, just ring up or go for an appointment, get it checked. You could think it's nothing, and you could think, oh, it's alright, it's only been there like a day, or it'll go away, and it might not. So I would always just advise people to just get it checked. Yes, you have to stay as still as you possibly can throughout treatment. The treatment itself is only a couple of minutes long, so it's not laid there for ages. It does feel sometimes like it lasts a lot longer than it actually is, but I think that's because you've got a lot going through your mind at the time. But no, the treatment is only a couple of minutes, and you are advised to stay as still as you possibly can throughout the whole treatment. No part of the process has been painful. The only part of the process that I am struggling a little bit with is the headaches, and I'm just constantly got the headache. Today I've been quite lucky and I've not had it, but today's Sunday and I've got treatment again tomorrow, so I'm making the most of not having a headache and having an appetite. And I'm actually going to treat myself to some snacks tonight and a film, and we're going to have a lovely quiz night with the family on Zoom. But no, none of it has been painful, none of the procedure is painful, so please just don't, you can't be scared. There's no point in being scared, because at the end of the day you are there to get treatment to help you, and that is it. That you can't really think about anything else for it to be painful. Now, I suppose every single person, when they're told something like that, deals with it different, regardless of whether you're a strong-headed person or not. I think when you're told something like that, it is going to affect you in a lot of different ways. Now for me, what was going through my head was, well, at least it can be treated. And also I just kept thinking, shit, like, how am I going to explain this to my family? And also the main thought in my head was, I've got to fight this, because I've got to be there for my girls. My girls need me and I want to see them grow up, so I have no choice but to fight it. So I guess from the get-go I was pretty strong, and I just took it on the chin and dealt with it. And it didn't really sink in until I got home and I told my mum and dad on the phone, and I guess that's when it really hit home what was happening, because physically I didn't really feel any different, but I guess when you actually hear yourself saying the thing that I really struggled with was actually saying that I'd got cancer. I could describe what it was, I could say where it was and how it was, and I'd tell you a lot of information about it, but actually saying I have breast cancer was something that I struggled with for a while. Now I'm completely fine about it, and I can talk about it like I am doing and informing people like I am doing, but at the very first moment that I was told that I was going to get treatment, it was a big shock. Lucky in the sense that, yeah, I'm unlucky for getting breast cancer, but I am lucky that it can be treated. Positive, because if you're not positive, then you're just going to be fighting your own demons in your head, and it's just not worth it. And anxious maybe, because you never know what side effects you're going to get, and most side effects start after the first full week, which is what I've had now. So I am a little anxious about next week, but it is what it is, and nothing can be changed, and you just gotta take it and face it head on, and whatever happens, happens. This is a good one for me, because I always, for me especially, if I took each day by day and for what it is on that day, then most of the time I would be pretty down. However, if I look 5 years into the future and I want to plan what I want to do in that time, where I want to be at the end of that time, then it gives me something to focus on, and I think that's what works best for me and my mental health during this time. So 5 years from now, I want to have finished university. I want to be in a job that I love doing, which is what I'm studying for. I want me and Ben to be well on the way to saving to buy a first house, and everyone in my family and all my friends to be healthy and well. This is such a hard question to answer, because theoretically no, but as I will talk about pretty soon after this question, the hormone in the pill can increase your chances of breast cancer. Now, it doesn't happen for everybody, and I'm not saying this to put you off going on the pill, but this is one of my triggers that happened to me. So I would just like to basically briefly inform you all of what I've learned, just so that if any of you feel the same or are worried, like the person that's asked me this question is, then at least you have a bit more information to make a better decision on for yourself. So for this question, I am going to be looking down a lot, because there is a lot that I've wrote down that I don't want to miss any of, because it is important. So the main symptoms for breast cancer are obviously lumps or thickened tissue, a change in shape or size of either or both of the breasts, so that could be anything from a swelling to an abnormality of the structure of your breast, discharge or any sort of fluid from your nipple, any lumps or swelling in either of your armpits, dimpling of the skin, a rash on or around your nipple, and any change in shape of your nipple itself. So that could be that it's slightly sunken in, or a change of colour, anything. Just always just get it checked. Firstly, I just want to say anybody can be affected by breast cancer, but more likely to get breast cancer if you are aged over 50 and you have been through the menopause, and it is said that 8 out of 10 cases of breast cancer happen to women over 50. So it's important that if you have already been through menopause that you check, and I think they actually offer you 3 yearly scans after you hit 50 to make sure that you constantly check in, basically like they do with smears, because it's just as important. You have an increased chance of getting breast cancer if you have a family history of breast cancer and also of ovarian cancers. So because breast cancer is the most common cancer in women in the UK, then obviously it is highly likely that multiple family members may have had breast cancer that are not linked. It doesn't necessarily increase your chances of getting it, but it also does mean that you are likely to be offered more regular checkups and scans to make sure that you are doing your best and utmost to prevent it. And also hormonal medicine, contraceptive pill. Now the contraceptive pill contains estrogen, and estrogen is a stimulant for breast cancer cells, and it can make them grow. Now I was on the pill after having my second daughter. I've also been on it before when I had my first daughter, and you're most likely to be at a higher risk when you stop taking it, not whilst you're taking it. So for 10 years after you stop taking the pill, you're at a higher risk, and then after that 10 years, once you've stopped taking the pill, then your chances go back to the normal rate. And lastly, obviously things like being overweight and obese, drinking alcohol, and also being exposed to regular radiation. So by that I mean x-rays, CT scans. If you have to have them regular, then you are at a higher risk of getting breast cancer than someone, for example, that didn't have those regular scans. So I'm going to try and briefly explain the stages. By briefly I literally mean as much information as I know, so I'm sorry if this doesn't help you, but also if it does help some of you out there, then that's a bonus, because that's what I'm trying to do. So as far as I'm aware, there is 4 stages. Now stage 1 is where the tumour itself is less than 2 centimetres. The lymph nodes in your armpits are not affected, and there is no sign of any form of spreading of the cancerous cells. Stage 2 is where the tumour measures 2 to 5 centimetres, where one or both the armpits, the lymph nodes have been affected, but there is still no signs of spreading. Stage 3 is where the tumour is 2 to 5 centimetres, but it also may be attached to tissue in the breast. The lymph nodes are affected, either in one or both, and there is still no signs of any spreading. And stage 4 is where the tumour can be of any size and that it has spread to other parts of the body. Now that is the briefest explanation of the stages that I could ever give. Then it is simplified into stages, I believe A, B, C, but I'm not too certain on that, so I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to give the wrong information. So I really hope that this video informed you all of at least one piece of information that you didn't already know. I also hope that it made you look at breast cancer in a more positive way, in the sense that if you are one of those people in a higher risk category, then at least you can look into something to change that, or perhaps deal with it in a different sense. But honestly, I just want to say again, I know I say this on every single video, but I really do appreciate all the love and support from every single person, whether you are a staff member at the hospital, whether you are a family member, friend, a stranger on social networks, everything. I really appreciate absolutely every single message that I've had, and I wouldn't be where I am now without that support, so I really can't thank you all enough. And my next video will be at the end of next week, when I've had my 3rd week. Is it 3rd week? 3rd week of, well, in theory, 3rd week of treatment. So I will catch up with you all then, and I hope you guys are all well, and I'll speak to you all soon.